people yelling, fuck the system. Well, I already did that like an old flame. I was sent to earth with a mission. But first I gotta work through all the old pain, work through all the traumas that affected. My mind, body, spirit is connected. I'm tryna feel good, it's time to heal good. I'm tryna feel good, it's time to heal good. I'm tryna heal.
What's up? I'm Mackenta.
And I'm Tabisha,
And this is Heal Good,
a space where we discuss how to take healing into your own hands.
because we know if you want to feel good, you gotta heal good. Today we are talking about how to go from forcing to flowing.
I think it's just all about accepting how things unfold and just remembering that within your plan, Spirit, God, Source, whatever you believe in, has a plan for you. So, yeah, that's definitely something I've been trying to get comfortable with, because I can be very adamant on how I want things to play out, very precise, and sometimes that's just not what it is. You know,
from the standpoint of unlearning, there's so much in society that tells you that the only way to be successful in life is to keep pushing. And even from the time that we're children, I think is like not so much anymore, because I'm seeing like my friends who are parents and my niece and nephew, just the way that things have changed is instead of just like suck it up, just keep going. It's actually like holding space to feel what you feel. But like I feel like our generation really grew up with suck it up, keep going. Oh, if something isn't working, it's because you're not pushing hard enough.
Hustle,
grind,
no sleep,
no days off.
Right. We don't agree with that.
Not anymore. And I'm still unlearning it, because I still have days where I'm like, I didn't do enough, and I'm forcing against all the energy that's like just telling me to rest at certain times. Yeah, it's like that's what we're told, is just to just keep going. And a lot of people still really push that mentality, and it doesn't mean don't work hard, but it's just the forcing things can lead you in places where you're not supposed to be. It's kind of a toxic thing that's been pushed in a lot of industries, especially like artistic and entrepreneurship, is just go. We've definitely talked about how it leads to burnout, and that's why self-care is so important. Understanding when you're forcing. One thing that's coming to mind might be TMI, but just say that it's not. But for even like the word flow, like a women's menstrual cycle, is I've spent my whole life ignoring the flow of my menstrual cycle, where back in the day, if you look at certain communities, when women had their cycle,
everything was shut down.
Everything, and the women would gather together away from the rest of the community, and that would be their time to rest, to take care of each other, and to actually gather insights that would help the community when they came back. Like the women, it was their job, because they were so sensitive, and that heightened awareness at that time would help inform the next decisions when they were back in the community. And so it used to be such a part of just the lifestyle. And then now it's almost like periods have become so demonized. Like you're expected to go to work, you're expected to do all those things. And I think something like that has kind of like made me think that I have to keep pushing, when really that's actually meant to be a sacred time. Even the whole idea that when you're on your period, you're so sensitive and you're emotional, and it's kind of like you're considered crazy during that time. That used to be viewed as a sacred time of heightened awareness and insight and intuition. And so I've been, for myself, trying to get back to that in my lifestyle, where when it is my cycle, that is my time to rest. That is not my time to push. That is my time to come up with creative ideas and find inspiration during that time. It doesn't always happen that way, because I'll book things in at that time of the month, and then my period will come and I'll be like, oh, I gotta push through. But I'm really trying to honor that within myself, because that's just one example of flow. But I think it's like, it really does play into our society, where it's not honored as much as it should be. So how do we honor it in our everyday lives if it's not even, if that cycle isn't even honored? It's our society isn't built for it, so we really have to find it in ourselves and figure out what flow works for us. Even though I know this information and I've proven it to myself many times, I still have to unlearn that. And sometimes I unlearn by pushing, and then things don't go well, and then that's how I learn.
Put you back into the flow. You're like, okay, put you back into the surrender. You surrender so that you can get back into flow, and then you can add the discipline where it's necessary. So you got to take a couple steps back sometimes before you can move forward, but I feel like that's part of it. That's part of unlearning, right? So
yeah, you got to believe for yourself too that surrendering will lead to better things. That it takes a while to believe it sometimes, but
you know, it could be so hard, especially when you feel like you've had to take a lot of matters into your own hand, whether like growing up or just like in general overall. If you felt like that was something you've constantly had to do, it could be so hard just trying to just release and let things play out the way that they're supposed to. But I really do feel like there's always magic within that, and that's just coming from my experience too, because I know I've always felt like I gotta do this. If I don't do it, no one else will. And God's choice is just like, okay, let's sit her down for a little bit, because clearly she's not understanding that there's a lot of help available if she just stops for a second, you know?
And that mentality will trap you. If you believe that if you don't do it, no one else will, that will become your reality. No one will do it because you got it under control. So people are like, she doesn't need help. I'm not gonna help her. She's got it under control. Where you kind of surrender a little bit and say, all right, I feel myself forcing. Let me see what my resources are. Let me see if I can have help. Allowing that in instead of blocking it, which is, it's all the flow. Especially if you're into astrology or any of that, you know that it's more than just the weekly horoscope. There's energies, and it's not about dictating, oh, we're in a retrograde, so everything's gonna be a mess. I think people get really fearful when they hear like, oh, it's a retrograde, everything's gonna go wrong.
Don't start anything, don't do anything new. And it's like, no, it's just about allowing more space for things to go in another way than you may have expected. Whether that's good or bad, how you view it is going to be up to you. How it plays out is going to be up to how it's supposed to play out, but just making room for that, because it's just energy.
Yeah, understanding the energy so you can work with it instead of letting the energy work you. You know.
And as per usual, we're starting this new thing where we're pulling from the Soul Journey deck,
getting into a flow and releasing any pushy energies. I know what I am here to do. And that just is telling me that when you're aligned with your purpose, you know that your success is inevitable. How it happens is not always as important as that's your purpose, so you're gonna get to it one way or another. And when you focus on your purpose, it's easier to get into that flow. I just want to read this little part of the description in here, because it says, your purpose in life is not your career. Rather, your career is guided by your purpose. And that line, I feel like, says a lot, because we think we make our career our purpose. But when you switch it, my career is guided by purpose, you don't, it releases the need to feel like you need to work all the time. Your purpose, your career is just one part of your purpose. But your purpose, there's so much more to your purpose. So that kind of releases the expectation that you always need to be doing work. It's sometimes your purpose is to rest so that you can show up in your career better. Okay, so it says, life on earth is full of obligations that require your conscious attention, but it doesn't mean you can't infuse all your decisions with caring and compassion. And sometimes that is for yourself, the caring and compassion to know when to just take a rest. And if you're not happy with your current circumstances, then that is your soul telling you that there's a better way to manifest your own distinct gifts. And again, it's like, if you're not happy, I really like to say the affirmation, the more fun and I have and the more I enjoy my work, the more successful I will be. And so if you are not happy, that could be a sign that you need to adjust how you're going about things to realign to your purpose. Even if you're feeling confused about your purpose, it's a good affirmation to say, I know what I'm here to do. Thank you if you've tuned in this long, and help you go and flow with the rest of your day.
Let us know what you'd like to see more of in the comments, and we'll be here every Wednesday helping you and ourselves
Heal good.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
I got flow.